What's up, YouTube? So, I've done a lot of organizing today and yesterday. I had some slabs right here in the back. So I moved those, and these are just like random, there's kind of cheaper pieces of wood just in this corner. So this entire thing is pretty much empty, except that little section. Some nice slabs. So typically, this entire wall filled up. And same thing with this. So here's the Lucas mill. Trailer is empty. This trailer is usually full with wood, and so are the sides. So I'm glad that this thing's empty. It's not happening right now, but so I'm wanting to buy a skidster. So sometimes I just think about increased production and my back long term. A skidster will fit right here. That Lucas mill won't be here, but skidster could fit right here. So maybe by the end of the year I'll be able to get something like that. That'd be really cool. I've never had equipment like that. So this unit is kind of situated, and give me just a backdrop. So like, I'm in a storage unit. That's how I operate. That's how I've been operating since I've owned sawmills, is storage units. Before that, I used to have wood at my house. I've moved houses a few times since then, and I've actually sold some wood at my current house. Anyway, so I used to sell wood out of my house. I didn't like doing that. That was wood from other sawmills, and ever since I had my sawmills, so this is my second Woodmizer, and I got a Lucas. I've operated out of storage units. So this trailer's empty. I need to get it filled up. I'm trying to convince my wife to let me buy a skidster. It's like $60,000. So unfortunately, I don't want to come off that type of money and purchase it. It'd be the first piece of equipment I finance. But it'd be a perfect situation for that trailer. So the Woodmizer, you've seen this. So I kind of have all the jacks down, and I was lubing it earlier, a few days back. But it's all ready to go. I still haven't done the oil change. It'll be fine without doing it. That stack's pretty tall. It's a pretty tall stack. So this thing will go in travel mode, as some of you guys know, when you go. A lot of people complain about these. They like the self-adjusting ones. These are they're not self-adjusting. There's certain holes where this goes in. So why people complain about these things is because they get them pinched. Whenever my saw head's down there where I can operate my hydraulics, I pull all four up before I put it in travel mode. If you put this in travel mode and put your head down on this, sometimes it's hard to come off. So I understand why they get frustrated with that. I'm not spending $1,200 to get self-adjusting this. If I was to spend $1,200, I would get like another saw. I got a saw back there, but this is my primary. I'll give another saw if I'm spending $1,200. Perfect machine. Last machine was Lt40 wide, just gasoline engine. I've said that before. This machine wants to be used more than it currently is being used. It only has like 70 hours on it. My last machine had like 400 hours on it. These are the slabs I moved. So I took these from that other unit there behind that trailer. So I had to put that trailer out. And then, I brought these slabs in here and stood them up. And I'm doing this all myself. So I stood that slab up. It's pretty gnarly. Up until like 6 months ago, I brought Clayton on board occasionally on some topping of the trees. And so anytime I need to go 20 and 30 feet up, Clayton's doing that. But I used to get in like 10 and 15 feet up in a tree and, cut, crotches off and stuff. Really sketchy. So now I have harness, multiple lanyards, I have spurs. So it's a safer situation for me whenever I climb up in a tree. I hate using that 661. I use that 391 whenever I'm up in a tree. I don't even like it. I like a smaller saw, but I like to stay out of the canopy of the tree. A lot of the trees I'm cutting are degraded and the canopy has insect infestation. So I bought that harness, $500 worth of equipment just for safety. My next thing is chainsaw chaps. I've never owned a pair. I've been using a chainsaw for over 10 years. This is like my 7th saw. This is a 661C. Saw before that one, I loved it. It's a 461, really nice saw, absolutely fantastic. So I've had 3 461s, I've had 2 311s, and I had some 200 series, whatever. This saw I purchased in 2020 in the summer. This saw died inside of a walnut tree. I drove 30 minutes away to buy this 391 for $500 something, wasted my money. It's a good saw because I needed to finish the tree. After I purchased that saw, because that one died inside of a walnut tree before I was able to finish it off, I do my wedge cut and my plunge cut, so I severed the inside and before I do my holding wood. It died on the plunge cut. I don't know what was up with it. It started right when I got back up. So I bought this $600 saw because that one died. And whenever I got back to my walnut site, that started up. So that's why I had 2 saws. I would like to have 3 saws, always, like chainsaws, really important. I wish honestly, my saw lineup, I wish I had an 880. I want 2 661s. I want a brand new one that's not even used, just like at my house type deal or in my truck. And then that's a cool saw, but I would like a smaller version of the saw. Not like a one-handed saw, those are dangerous. Just a smaller, lighter saw would be pretty nice. So as far as the chainsaws go, I'm satisfied with the 391 and the 661 for having this machine and having the Lucas mill. Like, it would be nice to have an 880 with like a 60-inch bar. I used to have a 42-inch bar for one of my 461s. That's probably why I blew them up. I blew 3 of those things up. I let somebody borrow it. They never get back to me. They stole it. Kind of sketchy. I'll never let anybody borrow anything. So it ranges from so many different items. Like, I've been in business for 12 years, remodeling houses, and I've been selling wood for 8 years. But as far as tools go, don't lend anybody tools. I don't do it anymore. I've had people ask me if I would let them borrow this. You couldn't pay me $1,000 or $2,000 a day to borrow my saw. I'll come cut for you for $1,000 to $2,000 a day though. Saw comes with the operator. I'm the operator, not renting my saw. So I always think about future forecasts and stuff. So ideally, I sell this trailer in 3 months, buy a gooseneck trailer, and then I buy that $61,000 skidster. It's a Bobcat 770, like the R series or something. It's really nice. It's a really nice machine. I was gonna get the K skidster. I think I'm gonna get the Bobcat. Just their incentives and their rebates and stuff like that, I just can't beat. So operating a sawmill business out of storage units is a pain in the butt. These are the 2 storage units I'm typically at. I'd have 2 more if I-35. I'm getting rid of them. These are typically the only 2 I have. What's funny is I used to have this one, and this one. I got rid of this one. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just kept that and never got them ones off I-35. I thought it'd be a logistical good situation, but it just kind of doesn't make sense for me. So eventually, whenever that one pops up, or that one right there pops up, I'll get it. If I ever need to get any other units, there are other units available. So as far as material, like, people want me to save logs often, and I have to be selective. Yeah, I want to save all the logs, you know, when they come up and stuff. Like, I always save walnut, but some logs I'm not able to save, because that requires me to, you know, put in the work to make that happen. And getting ready to cut wood, how I'm situated portably, just can be a pain in the butt sometimes. So I'm not really set up to save every single log. Ideally, I'd have land and people would be able to drop some logs off to me so I could have more of an inventory. I have a bunch of slabs at my house, but with that skidster, I have a pretty big backyard. I'll be able to put tons of wood in my backyard. And that's kind of my goal. Get a skidster, stop maneuvering this material. I could go cut a skidster on location, put all the wood on this trailer, and just be able to scoop it off. Not this particular trailer. I'm gonna get a gooseneck, like I said. It's gonna be a little bit longer, and it's going to be able to hold the skidster and wood. And I'll be able to haul it off. I'll get like a $700 attachment. There's this thing I need to put back here for the gooseneck. Cost me like $500 or something. I'm sure it's more than that, but that's what they told me almost a year ago. So that's my plans. I don't know exactly when that skidster is gonna happen, but if I had that skidster, those would be completely different. Honestly, whenever I get the skidster, I'm gonna take this. It'll be on my house, and I'll just continue to stock my stockpile over there, because I'm not trying to sell this wood. It sells. I sell a lot of it, but this slab is just, unless somebody gives me the right price for it, it can just stay with me, and I'm gonna make it into a table one day. I've made like 4 tables for people, but I've sold probably 60 or 70 big slabs like this, maybe 100 big slabs. I've probably sold 25 to 30,000 slabs like that, you know, smaller slabs. I used to pay people, other sawmills, you know, Woodmizer, older, Lt28, not a wide head. You know, sometimes whenever I would drop logs out there, it cost me $300, $400, $500, you know, to have them process them. You know, you pick them up, sometimes there'll be wavy cuts and stuff, and I started selling that wood, started getting my customer base up, and you know, I got 5,000 customers on my phone right now. I cut a lot of customers off just because, when I say cut off, I just don't make myself available. I used to be like on top of communication, you know, try to just be really eager, trying to move the material a lot faster. And there's no rush. So I have some primary buyers that they pretty much take care of the situation, and some legitimate, loyal customers that have been, you know, buying wood from me for 5 to 8 years consistently, and they always buy wood. They sit on it, let it dry, and you know, they'll turn it over, you know, next year type deal. So, you know, I want to get a kiln. Before I get a kiln, I want to have a skidster, so I don't have to, so I can completely change how I stack and organize slabs. So that will be like taller. Those stacks will be able to, where I can come in and scoop them up, and they'll be taller. But first off, you know, all this, my stockpile, my overload, will continue to go to my house. Anytime I have an overload, I put them at my house. I don't take people in my house. Eventually, I have like 10,000 slabs. Walnut. So that's kind of my rant for tonight. It's a Friday night. It's kind of cold. Me and my wife went to a main event tonight, hung out, no kids. She went to bed, and I came over here and I need to get that slab out of the back of my truck and just checking on things. I have a few maneuvers I want to make with slabs, and I want to make a little video. show you what I do every single night. Sawmill is always clean. I think 3/4 of the machine I put, I lube everything up with transmission fluid. This is some cheap stuff. I use the DEFCON stuff. I ran out of it, and I had to pick that up at the gas station whenever last time I was cutting with my mill. So I use like the DEFCON 3 or stuff, or 5. It's in a certain bottle, and that's the stuff I use. So 3/4 of this machine has been wiped down with transmission fluid, and like this, I'll wipe down everything. It'll be nice and oily. I have lots of salt on the roads near me, so this is gonna be I want it to be oilier. I'll wipe it down again, and then I'm gonna be taking this machine out every single day for like 5 to 10 days and cut wood. So that's going to be able to fill my side up, fill both sides up, fill that back up like I typically have it. I don't usually have that large of stockpile here because I can't keep up with my primaries, but that's the goal. Cut some wood very soon. I have quite a few blades. Let's look at my blade collection. Spare tire. So the ones in front are 10 degree. These are some 747s. I don't really like them. I have more blades at my house. These are all spent blades, so there's like 20, 25 in each bundle. And a couple hundred blades back there. Yeah, at least 150. So these two right here are spent one-time use. Like, I'll sharpen them eventually. I don't have a sharpener. So once I get another little clip, I'll make another bundle, or I could pull one of those bundles out and put those in there. I have a couple blades on my trailer that need to be bundled up and kind of put out of the way. Things that I use most, these big B57 belts. I always have at least a brand new one. This is a used one, but it's still good. It's not broken. I could, if I had a problem with those B57s, I'd put this used one on first. This is a brand new one. I usually have 2 of them with me. I don't. I used one of them. Just some sanding pads right here. Yeah, so whenever you see a price like that, like, I don't want to sell that board. That's 32 inches wide, and it's like 13 feet tall. So it's just, 27 inches wide, 32 inches wide, not for sale, unless you want to pay me that. It's another big one. It's only 30 inches wide. So that's the one in the back of my truck is kind of like that, but bigger. Seems to be all oiled up, it'll be ready to go. Lots of salt on the road, so that's the reason for the oiling. I don't know if I mentioned that, because of the salt. Yeah, I love what I do. Thank you so much. Almost hitting 200 subscribers. That's fantastic. Once I get 1,000 subscribers, I'll be able to do live videos, and that would be like live videos every time I set up at the sawmill. So gotta hit 1,000 subscribers to be able to do live videos. That's what my key is to do live videos, because I gotta upload things. I can just set this on my tripod and you guys can watch me do the cutting and stuff like that. Eventually I'll try to edit videos. I don't necessarily know how to do any of that stuff on the computer. I've not really even downloaded but a few apps in my entire life. A phone, the Apple phone, has everything I possibly need on it, all the extra stuff. I haven't taken advantage of the technology at my fingertips, so editing the videos that I produce on this channel, haven't done. Maybe one day I'll be able to do that, but this is just kind of the unedited spiel of my little business. It pays for my living, and that's that. God bless you guys. Thank you for subscribing, and thanks for watching my video.